Sometimes people contact me through social media or by email and request help finding a church near them. And I do my best to help them, but I'm not always successful because there may not be a Christian church near them, or they may have some restrictions when it comes to worship as a result of COVID-19. So in this video, I'm going to talk about how you can worship if you don't have a church near you. But before I do that, I want to thank the Preparation Ministry for sponsoring this video. The Preparation Ministry is a Christian YouTube channel with videos that will inspire you and prepare you for Christ's second coming. Some of the videos you can watch on the Preparation Ministry's channel include: Will Joe Biden lead the world to the Antichrist? Is the rapture doctrine in the Bible? And when will the Antichrist arise? Click on the card in the upper right-hand corner of the screen or the link in the video description to subscribe to the Preparation Ministry today. Now back to ways you can worship if you don't have a church near you or you can't go to church for some reason. One of the ways you can worship is by having church at home. You don't necessarily need to have a building full of people to have church and worship God. The building is not the church. We are the church. And Jesus said in Matthew chapter 18, verse 20, "Where 2 or 3 are gathered together in my name, I am there in the midst of them." And this is something that my family and I have been doing for the last few Sabbaths, since the church we normally go to has been closed as a result of COVID-19. I live in Poland, and coronavirus cases spiked in Poland recently, and in conjunction with that spike, a new set of restrictions was imposed. And one of those restrictions made it practically impossible for small churches to gather. If you gather together for service, you have to distance yourself so much that our church building would only be able to have like 7 members at a time. And we have about 40 members in our church, so that didn't work. I think they're starting to lift those restrictions now, but in the meantime, we just had church at home in the form of family worship. We would read some Bible verses, sing some hymns, and pray with our children at home on the Sabbath. And Friday night, my wife and I would watch a sermon on our smartphone. I say on our smartphone because we don't watch that many sermons together, because I prefer to watch English sermons and she watches Polish sermons since she doesn't speak English. So we end up watching sermons separately on our smartphones. And we preferred watching sermons Friday night because that's when the kids went to sleep, and so then we would have some peace and quiet. We have 3 small kids and it's impossible to get them to sit still and watch a sermon, so that's just the way we did it. That's what worked for us, and you have to find a way that works for you. But besides that, I know some families that got together and had more of a robust church service in their homes with Sabbath school and preaching. We don't have that option because we don't have any other Christians from our church nearby. We drive about an hour to go to church as is, and we don't have any nearby neighbors from our church. Not to mention, they didn't invite us. I just found out about this the other day. Maybe they didn't want too many people getting together at once because of COVID-19. So if you have a few like-minded Christians in your area, but you don't necessarily have a building where you can assemble, you can organize house worship services. There's nothing wrong with that. As a matter of fact, that's how early New Testament Christians worshiped. For example, the Apostle Paul said in Acts chapter 20, verse 20, "How I kept back nothing that was helpful, but proclaimed it to you and taught you publicly and from house to house." We see from this verse that Christians had a custom of getting together in their homes to preach and hear the word of the Lord. Now, if that's not possible, if you don't have any like-minded Christians nearby, you can participate in online worship. There's a couple of ways you can do this. One way is interactively, where you take part in a conference call like on Zoom. I've seen this done, and I've even participated in 1 or 2 calls like this before. You can have several people participate in one call, and you can have Bible study, hear a sermon, and have prayer without much of a problem. Or you can watch online services. One place where you can do that, which I recommend, is on the Facebook page Granite Bay Hilltop SDA Church. They post Bible studies and sermons on a weekly basis. I'll include a link in the video description to Granite Bay's Facebook page so you can go right to it and follow it if you'd like. You may not have a church in your area, or you may not be able to worship at your local church as a result of COVID-19 restrictions, but that doesn't mean that you can't worship at all. There are several alternatives. You can worship with your family, at home, or get together with like-minded believers at someone's house. That's basically how early Christians had church. Or you can participate in or watch an online service. We've been doing a little bit of both at our home, having family worship and watching online sermons. But I can't wait until things get back to normal, because there's nothing like getting together with other believers for worship and fellowship. Has the pandemic affected your church, or are you in an area where you don't have a church near you? If so, how do you worship? Let me know in the comments section. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new and click the bell so you don't miss any of my future uploads. Click on the screen to check out some more of my videos. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to like it and share it. Thank you for watching, and God bless you.